Hey, Chris Bayless here from the Sponsorship Collective. Today's video is actually a short training that I did inside our private Facebook group. Check the comments below for a link to the Facebook group where we have free training every week, tons of templates, and a real community of fellow sponsorship seekers. And of course, if you want us to keep making free videos and free content like this available, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get updates every time we release a new video. Check it out. All right, everybody, let's talk sponsorship. So what I want to talk to you about today is the damaging belief, I will call it, called my sponsorship opportunity is different. And I'm going to talk about how it manifests and why it's so damaging and actually what you can do instead. And so let me just take a quick look, make sure I'm actually going live. So we're going to talk about this belief that my sponsorship opportunity is different. And of course, whenever someone tells us this and we say, well, different from what? They can't answer the question. So what I would like you to do is drop in the comments below what your sponsorship property or opportunity is. Podcast, conference, festival, building naming rights, major event, esport competition. Just drop down below what your sponsorship opportunity is, what you're seeking sponsorship for. And if you're watching this on the replay, drop your sponsorship opportunity in the comments down below, #replay. So we're gonna do a little bit of we're gonna depart from my typical approach. I hope you'll forgive me. I will draw my iPad, I promise. I know that everybody wants to see my incredible drawing skills. And for those of you who were here last week, I'm happy to announce that I got a new Apple Pencil. I immediately proceeded to drop it on the ground, but not in the bathtub. And so it didn't get bent. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, watch last week's video. All right, so here's the problem. Our sponsorship opportunity is different. That's why we're not successful. When we talk to new clients, prospective clients, we hear this all the time. My biggest problem is that we're different. And then they go on to explain the exact same problem that everybody else has in sponsorship. I don't know my audience. Activations are hard. I don't know what my value is. I don't know what to put in my pitch deck. Oh, we're like overwhelmed in this area. We don't have time. We don't have resources. We don't have staff. We're too big. We're too small. They come saying we're different and then describe the same problem everybody else has in the sector. In particular, one of my team members had a conversation with an esport property, and this esport property said, "Well, we're different." And my team member, who I won't name, he said, well, what makes you say that? Well, we all got together, all my esport colleagues, and we decided that esport is just different. So he went on to ask the question, excellent. Have you tested this hypothesis with sponsors? No. So you believe you're different, but no sponsor has actually agreed to this? No. And as he probed deeper, what we discovered is that their problem was the same as everybody else. No audience data, no activations, don't know what to charge, don't know what the valuation should be, don't know how to prove ROI, and don't know how to build cool experiences. That's not different. That is just what sponsorship is. And not knowing how to do that doesn't mean that you're different or unique. It means that your skill set needs an upgrade. And so I want you to imagine yourself talking to Toyota, and you say, "Hey, Toyota, what are your sales and marketing goals this quarter?" Right? Sponsorship is sales and marketing, plain and simple. It's not donation. It's not an investment. It's not a gift. It's not a loan. If you want donations, ask a rich person. If you want an investment, ask an angel investor. If you have a business opportunity, then talk to potential business partners and banks. Don't call it sponsorship. That's not what it is. When you say sponsorship, Toyota hears marketing opportunity. Hey, Toyota, what are your marketing goals for the next quarter? To sell 50 cars. You know what? I apologize. I'm a podcast. Now, what are your marketing goals? Well, it probably won't surprise you to know that Toyota's goals don't change based on your property. Oh, well, I'm an esport competition. We're different. What are your marketing goals? It's a non sequitur. It doesn't make any sense. So to come at the sponsorship world with the belief that we are different is to be focused internally, which is precisely the wrong way. You want to be focused on what your potential sponsors want. You want to be focused on what the brand is trying to achieve and not justifying bad sponsorship because you're unique or different. Instead, you want to find a way to deliver on their goals. So I'm a podcast, therefore we're different is a non sequitur. I'm a podcast. How can I get my listeners to test drive a car or buy a car? We're an esport competition. How can we get our participants or our viewers to buy a car? The fact that you're unique doesn't give you a pass. You can't say to Toyota, just give us the money and we won't deliver on any ROI because we're different. It doesn't work. You can choose not to go down the path of sponsorship. But if you want to pursue sponsorship revenue, the reality is that you are practicing a discipline called sponsorship. The discipline doesn't change for you because you're different. You have to practice the discipline. You have to learn the rules of sponsorship. So we recently heard from someone who said, hey, let me just stop you right there. I'm not looking for the kind of sponsorship where sponsors want a return on investment. We just want the money. So imagine yourself going to a restaurant. You sit down, you pay $100, and the restaurant brings you nothing. And when you ask the restaurant, hey, what's going on here? I would love to see a menu. They say, oh, we're not the kind of restaurant that gives people food in exchange for money. You just give us money and then we have it. Trust us, we're a good restaurant. We're a unique restaurant. Just give us the money and we're good to go. Of course, it's a ludicrous concept, but somehow when people start using the S word, sponsorship, the idea that we're different, the idea that we don't need to prove an ROI because we do X, Y, Z, creeps up, and it is costing you money. You will not be successful with the attitude or the idea that we're different, therefore sponsorship has to change for us. No, it doesn't. Toyota needs to sell cars. And if you cannot help them sell cars, they will not give you sponsorship money. They might buy equity shares in your business if that's part of Toyota's business strategy, which of course it is not, but they won't invest in sponsorship. The chief marketing officer is measured against how many cars they sell, period. So when you're thinking about sponsorship, rather than thinking internally, this is my property type, therefore this is the type of sponsorship I should seek, or we are not on the hook to prove return on investment because we're a good cause, which happens a lot in the charitable sector, or we're a startup, so we don't have any audience data, therefore we don't have to provide any audience data. I'm sorry, but that is simply not true. And so when you're participating in sponsorship, you indeed must follow the rules of sponsorship. So you're not different, and that's good, because if you're different, that means there's no solution. You are just like every other sponsorship seeker, which is good news, because sponsorship is an established discipline. It's an established industry. It is 60 with a B billion dollar a year industry. And it isn't that way because sponsors make gambling bets on brand new opportunities and just hope it works out. It's not $60 billion because they're unique, so they shouldn't have to prove ROI. No, it's $60 billion a year because it works. Sponsorship is the most powerful marketing tool in the world, bar none. And you can have a piece of that $60 billion a year industry if you stop thinking of yourself as different. Stop thinking of ways that you don't have to deliver on your sponsorship promises, and instead think audience data. Who is my audience? How can I get 25 plus data points on my audience? How can I give sponsors access to that audience? What is my value? We use a cloud-based valuation tool, but if you scroll down or check the guide section, there are some free templates on how to do a valuation and report return on investment to your sponsors. How do we activate? How do we create cool experiences for our audience, regardless of what our audience is, where they're located, and how they consume engage with our property? Irrelevant. How can you give your audience more? How can you take away negatives? How can you give them a better experience and connect them to a brand? And then how can we deliver and prove it through fulfillment reports and other ROI measures. This is the sponsorship model. If by we're unique, you mean we can't do audience, value, or delivery, then what you're actually saying is we are not going down the path of sponsorship. Sponsors will not engage unless you can do these things. So it's not good news if we're unique, if you prove that to be true. You don't want to be unique. You want to have an audience that is passionate about what you do. You want to be able to connect them to a sponsor. You want to know what your opportunity is worth. You want to create meaningful experiences instead of just logo soup and gold, silver, bronze that nobody cares about. And then you want to prove that you delivered. Or a much nicer version of this, the sponsorship blueprint. You want to get really clear on what you have to offer, defining your offering, defining your audience, and then building those cool activations. Then you want to stand out in a crowded market by knowing your value, bundling strategies so you can ditch gold, silver, bronze forever and stop looking like an amateur sponsorship seeker, and then build sales material that sponsors actually want to read versus 25 pages about your history. And you want to sell prospecting based on your audience, building real connections by actually being able to prove return on investment and then launching those partnerships and renewing them. That is the sponsorship blueprint. This is what we base all of our training on, the sponsorship blueprint right here. So if you want a copy of the sponsorship blueprint, this infographic, so that you can map your journey and then figure out where on here am I in the most trouble, just drop the word blueprint down below and a member of my team will reach out. Be warned. Sometimes it takes a while for us to reach out. Sometimes we get 300-400 responses. So sometimes it takes a while to reach out only because Facebook limits the number of people that we can actually respond to. And believe me, I want to reach out to every one of you. So if you want a copy of the sponsorship blueprint, drop it down below. If you don't want a copy of the blueprint, that's okay. I still want to know what your sponsorship opportunity is. So just drop in the comments what you're seeking sponsorship for. And if you thought you were unique before this, what area do you now realize you have to focus on? Is it audience? Is it activations? Is it valuation? Is it delivery? Is it fulfillment reports? I'm willing to bet that the problem is audience data, and that's okay. That's an easy fix. So anyway, I appreciate you sticking around for my this is almost like a therapy session for me. And you could tell I get really passionate about it. So if you're watching on the replay, drop the type of your property, not the name of your property, but the type of your property and the word and then the hashtag replay so that I know people are still hanging out and watching these videos after I go live. And remember, the sponsorship proposal does not make the sale. You do. Get out there and talk to people.